Hi, everyone. Welcome to the Becoming Anchored podcast. My name is Laura Deneen. I am joined by the lovely Lauren Jackson for today's episode. If you are new to the show, we are really about two things on this podcast. So first and foremost, we talk a lot about some of the experiences that we have had in our own lives and journeys with mental health, and we're open and vulnerable with you all about that on this show. And really the purpose of that is to normalize some of the experiences. There's a lot of, I think, compassion that can happen in shared humanity. And so Lauren and I talk a lot about those experiences on this show. And then secondly, we have the amazing privilege of sitting with clients on a daily basis, and we really deeply cherish that work. It is such a wonderful career. It's so much more than a job to us, and we deeply care for our clients. And so we're here to talk about some of the wisdom that we have gleaned over the years in the therapy room. And so if you listen to the episode, the most recent episode, we talked about our pivot to the topic of body image and all that entails. And so I'm super excited for today's episode. If you are wanting therapy and you're local to the state of Tennessee, we would love to see you. If not, we encourage you to reach out to someone that is local to you. And so without further ado, let's dive in. Okay, so for today's episode, I'm joined by Lauren Jackson. Welcome, Lauren.
Thank you. I'm happy to be here.
Same. I'm so thrilled to have you.
Yeah.
There's just an ease when Lauren joins me for these episodes, and I just adore her wisdom and thoughtfulness, and so I'm really excited for what she has to share on our topic today. Speaking of, we are going to be talking about really this sense of hopelessness and the overwhelm that oftentimes can be associated with body image. We thought this would be a helpful kind of first episode around this topic, diving a little bit more into this, because oftentimes when clients come to see us, they do experience a sense of hopelessness and or overwhelm about their bodies. And so we're here just to share with you some of our feedback about, what we might do to support a client if they're in that place.
Yeah. And I would say too that, a lot of our clients who are coming in with body image distress, negative body image, whatever you want to call it, that fits your experience, this might even be their first time really addressing it.
Right.
Which maybe is what, where that kind of hopelessness can follow them, as I've been living my life for so long, kind of vacillating between trying to make my body perfect and loathing my body, and that cycle is so distressing, and now I'm ready to do something about it. And there can just be a kind of that buildup of hopelessness, of discouragement. And so like Laura said, we wanted to just kind of dive in a little bit in this first episode around what it might look like for us to kind of start that journey with someone, right?
Yeah.
Who maybe is starting it themselves.
Yeah.
What do you do with the client who's on this journey, like who has just started this journey, who's come to you for the first time, maybe in their 30s or, I don't know, 20s, 30s, 40s, and who's like, help, right?
Yeah. I mean, I think the first step, two things that are coming to mind. First and foremost, I think just validation of the pain, right? Even before we started recording, Lauren and I were talking about some really beautiful moments over the weekend, and then I was sharing with Megan, another girl in our practice, about some of the things that I had recently gone through. And just to be seen in that pain felt so soothing for my nervous system, right? And like my mood has shifted already this morning, like putting words to that and having other humans that can connect to me around whatever pain I'm going through. So that's the gift of therapy, right? Like we go through all these years of grad school and training, and at the end of the day, it really is about having a witness to our pain, right? And so that's really what we're going to start with in the first few sessions with our clients, is really hearing more about their body image story and journey before we immediately jump to like, well, I mean, good therapy is not fixing, but you know what I mean? Before we immediately jump to like, hey, this is an intervention that I think you should start trying out. because that is such a balm to our system, is like validation. And like, hello, the world we live in with body image, it's like, of course our clients are struggling in their relationship with their bodies.
Right. Well, speaking of culture, you know, and that's something too that maybe I'm with the validation piece and with just really hearing the story and the pain that a client is bringing in, exploring with the client where this comes from for them, whether it's culturally, socially, family of origin. Like we're kind of like starting to peel back some of the layers around where these messages came from, where they learned about having a body, and who's influential in their lives now and historically and whatnot around, again, what they think about their body, what they believe about their body, the value they put on their body, all of that. And I would say, culturally speaking, it's so obvious. I mean, I say obviously, but there's such a praise on ideal body type. I feel like we go through different seasons in culture around like what is ideal, right?
Yeah. Yeah.
And no matter what that is, it's not something that, if we look at it realistically, is actually super attainable. But there is this almost, and Laura, I'm curious what you think about this, there is almost this message of like, if you're not in some way, shape, or form dissatisfied with your body and trying to fix it, you're doing something wrong.
Yeah.
Right? There's this, I don't know what is the word I'm looking for. This like,
it's like a restlessness is what, even in your hand motion, right? Like it's like a restlessness.
Yeah.
Does that fit?
Yeah, but it's like there's this positive like twist to like, you should not like your body and you should always be trying to like fix it.
Yeah. Yeah.
And so I think that our clients come in with like this maybe even shame or distress around, I am trying to live in this cultural space of like always bettering my body, but it's like really interfering with my life. And
Absolutely.
That's what culture doesn't tell you.
Yeah.
Is that this is going to actually interfere with your life.
Yeah.
And it's going to suck.
Yeah, it's a very curated message,
Yeah.
right? The marketing schemes, they're actually quite brilliant in the way that they market products or ideas, they being like the powers that be that
Right.
are kind of telling us that we should always be changing something about our bodies. And yeah, the restlessness, the churning, almost this like pressure cooker that a lot of our clients come to us with, right? Of like, I just don't even know what to do anymore.
Right.
And sometimes clients will say like, hey, I know that I need to work towards a place of acceptance of my body. And then some people are not there, right? They want us to help them figure out how to change a part of their body. And so our work is really exploring that relational piece to their body itself, right? And really investigating like all the pieces of the puzzle, so to speak, that have led them to be at the place they're in our office.
And Laura, you gave a couple of examples of like maybe where a client could be at of like, okay, I want to move towards acceptance, or I didn't know that acceptance of my body was a thing.
Was it possible?
Or I'm sure you've had clients like this. I have a client like this who's like, the only way I can move towards acceptance is if I can get back on track and maintain that. And so on track for them would be like eating really healthy and exercising really regularly, like while also maintaining this like perfect social life and fun and going out to dinners. And so it's like this kind of, again, over idealized, romanticized version of what she believes is going to make her move towards acceptance of her body.
Yeah. Well, and I think lovingly, as we really build rapport with our clients, we are gently calling out some of that magical thinking, right? Because if we are undernourishing ourselves, right? And Lauren's using this word healthy within like air quotations, right? Because
I did that, right? I did the air quotes?
Yes,
okay,
I think
good.
so. Yeah.
Okay, I'm just making sure.
Yeah, but like Lauren's using that as like because we fully believe like all foods fit.
Yeah.
But you can't experience the full joy of life and the full embodiment that occurs if you are malnourished or if you were undernourishing yourself, right?
Well, and I use the word healthy too in quotes in the context of like diet culture, and we can speak a little bit to that too in a second. But because a lot of the times our clients will come in and say, and when they're using the word healthy, it's this like very specific version of what they believe healthy is, probably in the context of diet culture and what media and whatever feeds us about thinness and good and bad food and all the things.
All the like marketing schemes like we were talking about.
Yeah.
I think that would be helpful for us to really explore with you all today, like maybe a working definition of diet culture. I'm curious, Lauren, like how you explain that to your clients.
Yeah, it's big. And maybe some of you have heard that language before. If not, I think one of the ways that I make sense of it and maybe help my clients make sense of it is just really the culture we live in and the culture we've lived in for a long time that promotes dieting. And dieting, it can be such a big, broad word, right? But promotes this idea of like dieting or manipulating how we eat to influence the way that we look. With this messaging that we have complete, full control over how we look. And if you don't look right, you're doing something wrong.
Yeah, right. So imagine like this shame, right? And if you don't know any different, and if you were raised by caregivers or perhaps your parents or grandparents or aunts, uncles, whoever it might have been, like were on a diet or were commenting in a negative or shameful way about their body or your body, that is going to influence you, right? And a lot of our clients don't necessarily know that there is another way of showing up in the world. And so I think the work that we are doing in our first few therapy sessions in the context of body image is really gently providing this psychoeducation and then also providing like a gentle invitation into this other way.
Right.
Of like, okay, once we do the body image work, the goal here is to move towards peace and acceptance of our bodies and of other bodies too. Because one thing that diet culture does, right, is there's so much judgment, not only internalized judgment, but judgment of others.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
And comparison of one's body to someone else's body and how that like stacks up in the social kind of ramifications of that. So,
well, and I'm sure we'll do a whole episode on that.
Totally.
Just that at some point.
Yeah. But we're exploring that, right? And when we unpack diet culture and when we see it, we can't unsee it, right? I've had so many clients tell me that. I'm sure you have as well, right? But once you like understand what diet culture is, like good, bad, healthy, unhealthy, this like idealized size or person, so to speak, like you can't unsee it.
Right.
And so a lot of our work too is figuring out, or with clients, right, is figuring out how they would like to respond to diet culture experiences, whether it's with themselves or with other people, because that's also part of like healing body image, right? Like healing body image doesn't happen in a vacuum. And so what we are going to be talking about on this podcast moving forward is how to support you in experiencing your body, not just you, but like how you experience the world around you, like externally or like in your relationships. So say you're ready to move towards body peace and like your bestie isn't, right? Like how that's going to impact that relationship, how you want to show up with boundaries and communication and all the things with that. So it really is a different framework for how we show up in the world. And I think that is what can feel so jarring to a lot of our clients, right? Is just even unpacking all of that.
Totally. And so this new way or this different way that you're talking about, Laura, that's something that, kind of gently in the first handful of sessions, I mean, throughout the whole kind of process, right? But even in the first handful of sessions, we're introducing or we're exploring or we're being curious with our clients about, and, we can't just snap our fingers for our clients and them just start, living this kind of pivoted life in a new direction with their body image. And so, like we had maybe even talked about at the beginning of the episode, one of the things, or a couple of the things that that can be really helpful in starting to get curious about what would a different way look like, what would a different way be, is first bringing awareness to just our body image experience in the moment. And body image, and we can talk about this in a second, but body image is made up of so much more than like just what maybe we see in the mirror, or you know, what we think we look like one day, right? And then, like we've talked about, getting curious with our clients and with ourselves around, where did I learn that this part of my body is bad? Like, there's not like a book somewhere that I read that like, or, you know, a rule book somewhere that I read that like told me that, but it's like, where did that come from? Right. I know that those were kind of the two of the things that we had talked about that feel really important for us in the beginning of this journey with our clients that we wanted to explore with you guys today a little bit.
Yeah. Yeah. And so what we really like to do in our practice in Tennessee is really, really address the nuance and the depth here, right? So what we want to start off with you all, and just this encouragement, right, is just practicing curiosity. And so a lot of times I will do like an open-handed posture with myself if I'm noticing a judgment or criticism. So if you feel overwhelmed and hopeless about your relationship with your body, we will hold hope for you. Mm-hmm. I read a post recently from a friend of mine, and she talked about like borrowing hope from other people when we feel hopeless. And that really resonated with me as well. So like, if you need to borrow hope from us, that's okay right now.
Yeah.
Go ahead.
No, I was just going to say, just going off of what you had said earlier at the very beginning around validation, I think that's the natural give and take of us sharing our pain with someone else and the other person just being with and listening. There is a sense of borrowed hope in that. I think that naturally happens, right?
Yeah.
And so that just, yeah.
Yeah, and so if you feel overwhelmed and hopeless about your body image journey and your ability to start to change your relationship with your body, the first piece here is that we really just want to encourage you to validate some of the experiences that have led you to be where you are, right? So those are both in the present and historical experiences. Lauren and I are both trauma therapists, meaning that the way we were trained and a lot of the training and ongoing supervision that we've had over the years is really attuning to these historical experiences that do shape us and impact us. And we can start to leave those in the past the more that we do the work, right? But they do shape us, right? And they do mold us. And so not only validating your own experiences, but also starting to gently like cultivate awareness and insight around what might be contributing to how you experience your body, what you think about your body, what you see in the mirror when you look in the mirror, right? So, you know, how your friends talk about their bodies, all these different things, like whether it's like just our own internal experiences or how we experience like other people in relationship to us and how that impacts our body image. So that's really like where we want to wrap today. It's just starting to encourage you to practice some curiosity about what you notice about your experiences. And the thing about curiosity is it's not mindless, right? It's very intentional. And this is work, right? And so that's not lost on us. And we're here to tell you, like, it does take work and it takes motivation and it takes a lot of intention to do this work.
I had a client once, we were doing body image stuff, and I challenged her to practice some curiosity around just some specific moments that she had brought into session and whatnot. And she goes, okay, so I'm curious, and then what? Like, then what happens? And I'm like, okay, great question. And what if there's like new insight there? Like, what if there's something new there that you don't get to have access to if you're only in shame, right? And so that's maybe what we miss out on if we don't, or if we only live in this place of shame or self-criticism. That's where curiosity can be so helpful and so powerful and so like life-changing. Like, what if there are things there that we would never actually get to like have access to if we if we didn't give curiosity a chance, right?
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, and who knows what that entails for you, right? The hopefulness around how that might change your inner dialogue about your body, or how that might increase compassion for the fact that you did not have a parental figure in your life that showed you how to be kind to your body, right? So curiosity really is, I guess, the door, so to speak, into some of the change that can occur in the realm of like healing your relationship with your body. So, yeah, we hope this was helpful for you all today.
Yeah.
We really wanted to start here because it's so normal. Like, if you're feeling hopeless and overwhelmed about your body, and in future episodes, we're going to be sharing some practical interventions and skills that you can start to practice to really help yourself too. So, thanks for being here.
Yeah.
Would you like to close with an affirmation or homework for today?
Yeah, I'll do homework. I mean, I feel like there were lots of little homework nuggets we gave you throughout the episode, but 2 things. So, inviting curiosity in the present. So when you notice negative body image showing up, or body image distress, or whatever, can you give yourself 10 seconds, 15 seconds, 30 seconds to pause and be curious about what is coming up for you? What thoughts are you having? What are you feeling? What could be contributing to those thoughts and feelings? And then inviting in curiosity around where you learned about your body, maybe where you learned about your negative body image. Maybe that's somewhere, in your family of origin, or just somewhere in your story along the way, but kind of getting curious about present and past related to that negative body image that you have.
Yeah, and I think with that, curiosity is a word that came up quite frequently in today's episode. So really just this idea of like, I'm capable of cultivating curiosity, or maybe holding space for curiosity. And if you need to like use the open-handed approach, I'm all for that, right? Just to even like help your body get to a place of like being able to kind of have some curiosity about your experiences. So thank you for being here for today's episode. Lauren and I are super passionate about supporting clients and really just like even other people in our lives and healing their relationship with their bodies. And so we're super thankful to have you, and we will see you next time on the Becoming Anchored podcast. Take care.